good to have you. We have missed you around here on Undisputed. Oh.
Good morning.
Okay.
I miss all you guys, too.
We're so glad to have you with us. But I got to ask, ED, you've been a little critical of the new logo, of the uniforms. Tell us why.
Well, first of all, they called and asked our opinion. They called and, wanted to get our opinion on what we thought of the logo first. And we looked at that. And they said, be honest. And I just told them what I thought of the logo. I mean, I didn't think the logo was indicative of the Los Angeles Rams. And then a couple of days ago, they wanted us to look at the uniforms. And it was the same thing. And look, the uniforms are what the uniforms are. But let's go back to the history of the Rams. The Rams were the first team to have a logo, the horn on their helmet. And the Rams came to LA in 1946. They were the first team in Los Angeles before the Dodgers and the Lakers. And I think that horn is just so iconic with the football team. I mean, our uniforms, you think about Deacon Jones, you think about the Fearsome Foursome, you think about Jack Youngblood, Jackie Slater, all the great players we had. And it's almost you're taking away the history, of the Los Angeles Rams. And look, I understand that if they want to change the colors, I like the colors. I do like the colors. But I think the main thing, I just asked them, why would you touch the horn? I mean, why would you touch the horn? And then you asked us after the fact, and I got to get Marshall Falk was on the call, and Marshall said, he's going to ask the question, he said, like anything, any business, if someone wants to take credit, who do we look to, who do we blame for this? And there was a guy on the call, he said, well, I guess you blame me, in a sense. He said, so who did you talk? You talked to former players, current players, about the logo and the uniforms? You talk to anybody? He said, no, well, we talked to people in the office. We talked to women, which is fine, in the office, but we didn't talk to any players. I'm like, to me, that didn't make sense. Why ask us after the fact? I mean, look, I love my football team. And Skip, I want to thank you for giving me the name, the ambassador, because I love it. I stick up for that name. I take it for my fans, and I try to do, the fans want to hear. I mean, look, our fans are passionate about their football team, their logo. I would ask you, Skip, this is for you. What if the Cowboys took the star off the Dallas Cowboy helmet? And so just put Cowboys on there.
No good. So, Eric, I did give you that nickname because you do live and die for your Rams. So I must admit, when I read your remarks from your radio interview yesterday, I was shocked that you publicly condemned these uniforms. But I did not know that they had sought your approval. Well, but they'd already decided that it's all out of order, that you didn't really get any input. They'd already decided this is the way it's going to be. So I was shocked at how critical you were, because you still work with and for the team, and yet you weren't really consulted before they released the new uniform. So now I have sympathy for you, and I'm on your side. At first, I was shocked that you were hypercritical of this, but they didn't really ask your opinion until it was too late, right?
Exactly. I asked them when they showed them to us. I said, okay, can they change them? If we don't like them, they said, no, we're not changing them. I'm like, well, why ask us? It's just the purpose to ask us. This, and if they would have asked me, this is what I would have said. Let's make this fun. Let's do this for LA. Let's bring in some of the great artists that we have in Los Angeles, and let's have a contest. Let's take the top 50. And let's go down to the top 30, the top 20, the top 10, the top 5, and the top 2 and top 1. Let's say take those artists and say, we're going to let you pick our logo. We're going to work with you to pick our logo, and we're going to give you, say, $50,000 in season tickets for life. That would have been over so great in LA with our fans. I mean, because that way the fans were in it. I mean, and you talk to the fans, they say their thing is, we like the colors, but why mess with the horn? I mean, it doesn't look like a. And I told the guy on the phone, I said, this doesn't look like a horn anymore. I mean, and it's not my time. It's my time of the past, and all the players that wore that horn, in past. It's Aaron Donald's time. It's Jalen Ramsey's times. It's Robert Woods' times. It's their time. But I still think that horn was iconic. It's an iconic piece of the Los Angeles Rams football team, and now we've lost that.
AD, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the colors, and so I need you to get me an Aaron Donald jersey autograph. I appreciate that. So the problem that you have is that they tinker with the horn because it looked like they broke the horn. It's not a single horn. It's like two half horns that's not connected. So if they would have just left the horn intact, bring new colors, brighter colors, you would have been okay with that. You just have a problem with the horn being a half horn, not a complete horn.
100%, Shannon. You said it. That's my problem, and I think that's the problem with all the fans. The colors I like. I do like. I like the bone. I like colors. And the on the shoulder a little bit wider. You know, the ram curve a little bit wider. But that's not my call. But the horn on the helmet. Why mess with that? I just feel like that's a no-no. That was my main issue. And Skip, you said it. They didn't ask us, you know, let's work together. It was after the fact. You see it. I said, okay, so can they change it? No, we're not changing. Okay, so we stop.
Well, they should have never. They shouldn't even ask you then.
So, pretty much everybody on that call, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Falk, all the guys felt pretty much the same. You know, the horn. Why mess with the horn?
Man. So, Eric, while we have you, you did bring up my Cowboys. We haven't been able to get your opinion of how the Dak contract stalemate will play out. How do you see it ending? Good or bad?
Well, I'll say this much here. You know, I like Jerry Jones, you know, and I respect the Cowboys, even though I'm not a Cowboy fan. And I just feel like that when you hear the offer, and you don't know all the details of the offer's a good offer. I mean, it's a great offer, matter of fact, from a guy who was, you know, a fourth-round draft pick. And I'm not saying that because I like Dak. I think Dak can be a great quarterback. But I think that offer is a great offer. And the thing is, Skip, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to make so much more money off the field. It's like look at Tony Romo. Tony makes $18 million a year, you know, after football. So think about, are you going to argue over another, and I'm not saying it's not my money, $5 or $10 million, but Jerry's that kind of owner, like, okay, I made you a fair offer, very fair, and if you don't want to take it, we'll just step back. And if they would just say, look, we're going to go with Andy Dalton, we're going to save $15 million, and we'll put that money somewhere on our defense and help our team, you know, you're playing with fire because, I mean, being a Cowboy, and I hate to say this, Skip, you know I do, being a Cowboy has a great, great value. It really does. You know, and being in Dallas and being the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
E.G., you of all people should know, after having held out twice, living in L.A., you wanted a raise because you felt you wanted what you deserved. They thought they were giving you fair market value. You said, I want more money. You were living in L.A., and you end up going to Indy, and you going to talk about this man got fair offer paying in Dallas.
Well, let's go with this. I was making $250,000. When I went to Indy, I made $1.5 million.
That was a lot of money back then.
$250,000 money in LA. You making $100,000. Look, I mean, like I said, I'm always for the player. You know that. I'm always for the player. And I don't tell the player, you know, what to do with his money, how to spend his money. But you know it's true, Shannon. Think about it. Being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys or being the quarterback of the New York Jets or the Cincinnati Bengals, that's a big difference. It really is. And we know that. And like I said, I like that. I'm not telling the man what to do, but if I was advising him, I said, look at this offer very close and think about this. Because Jerry could say, you know what? That's it. You know, that's our offer. Take it or leave it. And that's how he does it. And his son, Stephen Jones, could say, you know, Dad, that's a great offer. That's enough. And we just going to leave it at that. We'll just let him go be Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota, to be another Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings. And I like that.
So Shannon Sharpe, you realize that time that you're talking about, Eric Dickerson had established himself as the best running back in all of pro football. He was dominating the league, and he was a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer by the time that he was at his contractual stalemate with his team. So that's a whole different situation than a still young quarterback who is 1 and 2 in the playoffs, Nobody considers Dak Prescott even a top 10 quarterback yet. Maybe he'll come to prove that at some point. But again, as Eric says, the offer on the table of $36 million a year with maybe $110 million guaranteed is more than fair.
But ED understands. ED having played and understands contract. Contracts is not what they're written to be. How much of that money is fully guaranteed? That not injury protection, not if I'm on the roster at the start of the new year, because we've seen them at the start of the new year start cutting players. Ask Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley had all that money guaranteed. Where Todd Gurley at? He in Atlanta. You see what happened to Leonard Floyd in Chicago. I'm not talking about money for the new year, Skip. I'm talking about money that's fully guaranteed. When I sign my name, how much money am I getting? ED knows how that works. It's basically the money that I'm going to get no matter come hell or high water, I'm going to be able to put that money in my pocket. And I think they keep, it's $35 million and we're going to, it's guaranteed. How much is fully guaranteed? Because Aaron Rodgers got about $79 million and Russell Wilson got about $70 million. How much of that is fully guaranteed?
Okay, Eric Dickerson, while we still have you, let's go one last direction. You have called Tom Brady here on Undisputed an old-ass man. The old-ass man is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. You have not been able to weigh in here on the show.